had a bit of a flare, and I was in my room, and I went to go open the door, and I couldn't turn the doorknob. So like I couldn't leave the room after.
This happened to me the other day.
Isn't that insane? Hey, what's up, you guys? Happy New Year. Hope you had a great holiday break. Welcome back to another episode of MSers React. Today we're going to be reacting to a Shift.ms forum post about exercising.
Exercise.
All right, let's jump into it.
Exercise when I can barely walk? What? So this MSer says, it seems to me that there is a lot of talk about exercise and being good for MSers. But how am I meant to exercise when I can barely walk? I've tried swimming, but I can't. And my attempts have left me so exhausted that the last time I had to crawl to the changing room. Whoa, that's throwing right in there with deep.
Yeah. This question is something I felt very deeply when I was first diagnosed because my first flare was pretty significant, where in the next month I had a lot of difficulty walking. I was extremely limited by the MS hug. I feel like I couldn't do anything, like I was out of breath walking across the room. And I remember my mom coming to me and saying, oh, exercise is the best thing, like we have to start going for runs. And when I tried to run, she was like, come on, Sarah. And I was like, no, I'm being serious. Like that was me trying to run. But what I have found with this is that exercise has been so helpful to me once I was able to, but there were absolutely times where trying is best, but it was not practical. To be like fully exercising like the way that I am now at that time.
Yeah, so I can't walk anymore. I don't really exercise, as in I don't go swimming or I don't do any cardio. I just do weights. But if I was to go swimming with the kids, for example, I would be left crawling out of the pool, not even enough strength to kind of pull myself up. I'd need help from my wife to do it. But it's strange because I can go to the gym and have a full upper body workout, and I can go to the gym and compete in strongman, for example, but that's a different part of it, because that kind of kills me anyway. It's something that you kind of have to kind of do at your own pace. Once you find something you like to do, even though it's going to be difficult, you'll find a way around it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think people think when you say exercise, like you say, like going for a run, going to the gym, doing all this really intense stuff, when actually exercise can literally just be sitting on the floor at home and doing various stretches or doing some light yoga. But yeah, I think people put pressure on themselves to do this like hardcore exercise regime when actually exercise can be so basic. And it's like what you said, Dave, you find something that suits you and you enjoy doing, because that's the most important thing. There's no point in doing something if you're hating every second of it, and then just build on that slowly. And yeah, it might not look like a typical person's exercise regime, but you create it for yourself and what your body needs. And yeah, that would be my advice.
Yeah, I really like that you said when you think of like the classic definition of exercise, because MS has changed so many definitions for us, right? Our definitions of our day-to-day. So with that transition, we have to change the definition of what exercise is. And really all it is some kind of movement.
Yeah.
Just any way that will keep us from like laying in bed all day, which some days we absolutely want to and sometimes need to do.
Even if it's just jumping on the floor with the kids and
Exactly.
rolling around,
Exactly.
That's exercise.
Literally just walking around the block as well, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, build it up day by day.
It's all better than nothing. I did want to ask you guys something, because I've seen personally, like on your social medias, I know how all of you guys are like in the gym so strong. I've seen like photos and been like, oh my gosh, I'm so surprised. And I wanted to get your opinion on something that I felt, where since having MS and feeling incredibly weak, I've had the pull to go to the gym to feel strength. And I have this polarizing difference in my head where I never feel like in the middle. I either feel I'm the strongest woman in the entire world, or I can't open a water bottle. Is that how you guys feel? Because we are incredibly strong because we put in the work. But there are some instances in our life where no matter how hard I work there, I feel incredibly weak. And I guess I was wondering your opinion with that.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about it a lot, but I'm literally the second strongest disabled person in the world.
Yeah, you are.
And that's and that's like, I competed, and I'm the strongest disabled person in Britain. However, even though I can pull a lorry or bench press like 280 kilos or something, I can't open a tin that I need to get my 12-year-old daughter to help me with, and she doesn't help me because she just thinks it's funny that I can't do it. But it's you're good at some things but not good at everything, I guess. So yeah, I know exactly what how you feel.
I had it the other day with a jar. I was like cooking dinner. It was like the last section of like dinner, and it was like I'd cooked all the mince, had all the pasta ready, just needed to add a jar of sauce, and I couldn't open the jar. At the same time, I'm quite capable in the gym and relatively strong in that sort of sense. So yeah, completely can relate to that, Dave, like massively.
I had the most frustrating day like a month ago. I did my personal record at the gym with the leg press, which
saw that.
Yeah. So I did around 380 pounds, which I don't know if that translates well. And then I got home and I had a bit of a flare, and I was in my room and I went to go open the door and I couldn't turn the doorknob. So like I couldn't leave the room. After
Isn't
that insane? I leg pressed almost 400 pounds and then I couldn't open a door. It's such a weird, like, huge polarizing thing.
I found the standard PT doesn't know how to work with or isn't even aware of MS challenges. What exercises/PT do you feel are essential to do for your MS symptoms, and how frequently do you do them? What do you feel are the benefits?
Have you guys all done PT?
Well, I am a PT. Well, I was.
Are you really?
I'm a qualified PT, yeah. That was my job for a very long time. So, I mean, it depends on your symptoms, your personal symptoms, and they're going to be so individual to you. I mean, 5-10 years ago, I could do a whole lot more. I could train like an able-bodied person, really, and there's no real reason why you can't do that, apart from your own specific symptoms that do hold you back from certain things. So my advice would be, if you're working with a PT, put the research in and find someone who is good, because there is a lot of people in our industry that are not very good and want to take your money and do not care about your body. And when you have an illness like MS, obviously this is so much more important. Our bodies are everything to us, and you need to find someone who knows what they're doing. If they're asking you to do something and you can't do it, say that. That's not a bad thing. That's okay. And if they're a good PT, they will be able to work with you and your own personal symptoms and create a program for you that is personalised to you.
Yeah, I am quite self-motivated, and I think as well, so the last few weeks I've been struggling with just general lack of motivation. I was run down for ages, and then I felt better, had a couple of really, really good gym sessions, and I have a booster jab, which just made me really ill. So I tend to find that I'll still go to the gym no matter what, but I can have a really good session, but then I'm also really good at recognizing okay, you're tired today, so maybe cut down to 4 exercises rather than the full 6 or whatever. Put your all into them, and then and even if I don't necessarily go heavy on that day, it's I've still done it. Whereas I feel if I had a PT, it's I know that they wouldn't, they'd be understanding, but I'd be in my mind I've let them down as well as potentially myself. So I just like to train on my own and do it that way.
That makes sense.
But, yeah.
I think that's a really important point about recognizing your fatigue levels throughout the day, because there is an exhaustion threshold with MS. So if we are having a fatigue day and you push it, you're going to pay for it for days. So that's something that I found very helpful with the PT specialist that I saw, where I didn't even mention my MS, but I was really pleasantly surprised to see how knowledgeable she was about it. Another great thing that we did together was massages for nerve stimulation, in my hands. That was really helpful. And also, like Tia said, even though that you were very self-motivated, I might not be sometimes. So having a person to keep you on track with nerve regeneration or stimulation exercises is really important for our condition. It's one of the very little things that we can do to help. And I think the benefits were seeing consistent improvement and tracking how I was feeling, because most days I would be I don't even want to think about it. But now I noticed, okay, if I did these kind of exercises, I noticed a change in my hand. I could feel a change. So it kind of helped me pay more attention to my symptoms in the stage where they were able to progress or get better. So those were some of the benefits that I found. But it's not for everyone, especially if you can't find the right one. But if you do find the right one, it can be pretty cool.
The next one is exercises for using my wheelchair. So I've always had an issue when I'm using my wheelchair, lack of any real strength. I'm wondering what exercise people could recommend to build up the stamina and strength when I'm using my wheelchair. You all know that Dave being a wheelchair. I think a lot of, when you're using a wheelchair, you're using a lot of your hands. If you can work on like kind of building strength in your hands and your forearms, I guess that kind of helps me get faster. Some resistance training is key to that. I mean, stamina in a wheelchair is difficult. It's not it's not as fun as people think, but once you're going up anything that's a slight hill, you can kill your triceps out of it and your shoulders. So a lot of arm strength and just arms and shoulders and wrists, I reckon, would kind of work. The problem is, if you were to train your arms really heavy, then you still got to go around and push yourself around for the day. So you don't want to kill it. Just being in the chair and moving around would work, really, would help. Just get on your wheelchair and go. I'm 22 stone now, probably, so it's hard for me to push myself around. Don't be afraid to ask someone to push you.
Sounds like really good advice. So next question we have here from an MSer is exercise unfit or MS? I've recently been active again. Trouble is I don't last very long before I get tired. Weirdly, it's not the kind of I need a nap tired, but my limbs go like lead. And afterwards it seems like days rather than hours to recover. Sometimes getting bad cramps at night after I've exercised. My friend's advice is, oh, you're just unfit. But I'm struggling with this as I've been unfit in the past, but it seems different. How do you tackle exercise? Should I push through? Will it improve? I think this is a really, really important question. And from my personal experience, what I had touched on before was this is what would happen to me when I pushed through my fatigue threshold and I was paying for it later. I have one bad arm. There have been times where I've been doing push-ups or pull-ups and I can feel the difference when this arm goes to lead or it just stops, where this arm can keep going, but then for days it will feel like it's buzzing and then I overworked it. It's extremely frustrating. And I have yet to find something to do other than to be careful not to push through that threshold. But that can be really, really frustrating, as how am I supposed to get stronger, get better if I have to continually limit myself?
It's such a fine line, isn't it? Like, because you want to push yourself because that's the nature of, training essentially. But equally, if you push yourself too hard, like what Sarah just said, that will happen. So it's finding that balance. And I think 5 years ago, I was training 6 days a week, like intense sessions, like resistance training. I'd have one rest day, doing some cardio as well. Nowadays, I'm lucky, especially at the moment with how ill I've been, if I get to the gym twice a week. And that has been really difficult to try and get my head around, because I'm like, well, I could do it before. Why can I not do it now? But actually, I just have to listen to my body and it's telling me no. So, do what you can.
Yeah, and don't kill yourself over it. Everyone has bad days of training and stuff. And if you have to kind of step back for it, just to make tomorrow a better day, then, you shouldn't feel bad for doing that. But there are things out there that can help with training. Like special straps, so you don't have to use your grip to pull yourself up or lift the weights up, or you can get certain kind of sleeves that go on your elbows, so it helps you push a bit.
I have all of these.
I'm going for my gym bag right now.
I did not know about that. That's really helpful.
I strap my wrists now because I can't grip, and I was finding it wasn't the muscles that were fatiguing, it was my wrists are literally like this. If I try and hold something, my wrists will just go. So I've got straps now which I do strap up, and I have so much more strength. I was so stubborn about it for so long because I was like, no, this is fine, I don't even need them, when actually as soon as I started using them, all of my numbers were going up and I was feeling stronger, and I was just like, mobility aids, definitely, Dave, use them and utilize them, because they will help with training and exercise so much.
And there is a thing called DOMS as well. Let's talk about DOMS. Sometimes if you train too hard, or not even too hard, sometimes you get something called delayed onset muscle
soreness,
where you will be sore. and everybody experiences this.
Yeah, because it is hard sometimes to separate. Often I go, is this MS or am I just tired? You know?
Yeah.
But to address the question, you are not crazy. If we were feeling the same thing, it's different. It's not just being unfit. There is something with MS where you can feel like you are just capped out. So I hope that helps. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of MSers React. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell for more content like this.
And if you haven't already, please check out our previous video here.
Also, you guys can follow us on our social media in the description below.
And let us know in the comments if you like my Christmas jumper and what you'd like us to react to next. Bye!